Welcome to the lesson Joining Shapes. In this lesson, the students will first calculate a perimeter of one shape, and then the students will try to use this knowledge to calculate the perimeter of a shape that is created by combining two or more of such shapes. The idea is to promote a deeper understanding of the topic of perimeters and to develop more flexible thinking in general. Let's move on to our first shape. And we ask the student, what is the perimeter of the shape? We can introduce the term unit length, the length of the side of a square from the grid. After they give their answers, we can check. We move to Turtle Controls and click Play. And the turtle will count the perimeter for us as he moves around the shape. The path is also now colored with unit lengths, one blue, then one red. This also makes them easier to count. And the perimeter of the shape is 10. Now we will use this answer in the next question. Here, the students are instructed to use the known perimeter of this shape to figure out the perimeter of the green shape. Emphasize that the idea is not to count the perimeter of the green shape independently by counting around the shape. Hopefully, the students will notice that the green shape is made out of two purple shapes. So some students may conclude that if the perimeter of the purple shape is 10, the perimeter of the green shape will be 20. This, by the way, is true with regards to the area of the green shape. It is, of course, twice the area of the purple shape. In class, we recommend you first gather all the numerical results that the students came up with. So we mentioned 20 will probably be one of the suggestions. Another one will probably be 19. Students who reach the answer 19 notice that this line is eliminated once the shapes are joined together. And some students may give the answer 18, which is the correct answer. This is because that this unit is eliminated in both shapes. After the numerical answers are gathered, ask a student who gave the answer 20 to give his or her rationale. Remember to always emphasize the correct parts of the reasoning rather than the incorrectness of the final answer. So students who reached the answer 20 did notice that the green shape is a combination of two purple ones, and this is indeed a good start. Next, let a student who answered 19 to explain his or her reasoning, and only then a student that answered 18. After this, move to Turtle Controls. We will click play and see the correct answer. It's interesting to see if there will be students who answered 20 or 19 that were not convinced by the rationale given for the answer 18. This helps settle the issue. And the next page we have another graphic that helps illustrate the answer. When two of these shapes are placed side by side, this is what we get. And here the answer 19 seems to make sense. In order to see that the answer is 18, we have to do one more thing. And if we slightly move one of them, we see that not one but two unit lengths disappear once the shapes are combined. One unit length from each of the shapes. Let's move on to the next question. Here we're still using the same shape, but combining two of them in a different way. In class, you can go through the same process of the students writing down their answer and then using the turtle controls to check if they got it right, and then have a class discussion and this page and the next one, where again we can separate the shapes and see the two unit lengths that are cancelled out. So we will get the same answer, 20 minus 2. Let's move on. In this case, the green shape contains 3 copies of the purple shape and 1, 2 connections. So hopefully the students will subtract 2 and another 2. In other words, to subtract 4 from a total of 10, 20, 30. 30 minus 4, 26. In class, of course, you can run the turtle as well, but here we will skip this. On the next page, we have the same type of graphic that can help us. Keep in mind that there could be students who think about this problem in a slightly different way. Allow them to express their idea. Let's move on. And we have a new shape. See if all students in class can actually cope with this slightly more tricky shape. A few students will probably like to be the ones to click play on the turtle controls. You can simply pass around the wireless mouse to do this. And let's move on. For many students, this may seem as a repeat of a question they already did. They will see that this is a combination of two shapes, add 12 and 12 to get 24, and they will see one connection and remember that each connection subtracted 2. So a common answer could be 22. But let's run the turtle. What a student who thinks the answer is 22 missed is that this time 2 unit lengths are connected. Each shape loses 2 unit lengths, and so the total loss is 4. 24 minus 4 is 20. And as with the other questions, on the next page we have this graphic, where we can separate the shapes a little and see the 4 unit lengths that we have to subtract. Let's continue. And at this point, we hand out to the students a worksheet that we print out. It looks like this. The students first calculate the perimeter of one shape. They have to be very careful here, because all the rest of the questions are based on it. And here they are. All of these shapes appear back in the app, ready for a class discussion on the solutions that the students reached. So let's go back to the app and review the questions. After the students give their answers, let's check the perimeter of this shape. Turtle controls and play. This is important because some students may not even have complete confidence in finding out the perimeter of one shape. Now let's continue to the first combination. Now allow one of the students to explain the answer. The scribble tool can also be used to cut the combined shape. So we have 16 plus 16 minus 2. In class, you can use the turtle controls for all questions, but for now we will skip this and run through the remaining questions fairly quickly in this teacher tutorial. We always provide this graphic for your convenience. And the next question. Here there is something of a visual challenge to see how these 3 shapes connect. In class, take your time. We will now continue. And the next question. Here there are 2 shapes and 1 connection, and this connection subtracts 2 from each shape, and in total 4. And the last question. This shape might also be a little bit confusing. This is the interface between the 2 shapes, and it is the first time that we subtract 3 plus 3, which is 6. Now let's move on to conclude what we learned. We learned how to figure out the perimeter of a shape created by the combination of shapes with a known perimeter. There is also a more general idea here. We used a solution we know to solve a new problem. We also gave the students an opportunity to practice, enhance, and gain more confidence in their visual perception. That's it. We hope you enjoy this lesson in class.